Nobody thought it would survive. For centuries, powerful rulers tried to stop it. Governments banned it. Churches were destroyed. Believers were arrested. Sacred books were burned. And anyone caught practicing it often faced a difficult choice: give up your faith or suffer the consequences. Again and again, it seemed like Christianity had reached its final chapter in this country. The future looked hopeless. The churches were disappearing. The number of believers was shrinking. And many people believed it was only a matter of time before Christianity vanished completely. But history had other plans. Because despite every attempt to erase it, despite every law, every ban, every campaign, and every effort to silence it, Christianity refused to die. In fact, something remarkable happened. The harder people tried to destroy it, the stronger it seemed to become. Generations passed. Empires rose and fell. Leaders came and went. But Christianity remained. Hidden at times, quiet at times, but never gone. Today, millions of people still follow the faith that many once believed would disappear forever. And that raises an important question. How? How does a religion survive when powerful forces spend centuries trying to remove it? How do believers keep their faith when the cost can be so high? And what makes people hold on to something even when everything around them tells them to let it go? The answers take us into one of the most fascinating stories in history. A story filled with courage. A story filled with sacrifice. A story about ordinary people who faced extraordinary challenges. And by the end of this video, you'll understand why one of the greatest failures in history was the attempt to erase Christianity from this country. Because the truth is far more incredible than most people realize. To understand what happened, we need to travel back in time, long before modern cities, modern governments, and modern borders existed. Back to a period when this land was one of the most powerful places on earth. Back to a time when emperors ruled vast territories and their decisions shaped the lives of millions. At first, Christianity was a small movement. Its followers were few. Most people knew little about it. To many rulers, it seemed insignificant. But as the years passed, something unexpected began to happen. More people joined. Communities grew. Families embraced the faith. And little by little, Christianity started spreading across regions that no one expected. That growth worried powerful leaders. Because throughout history, rulers have often viewed independent religious movements as a threat. A faith that inspires loyalty beyond the state can be difficult to control. And so the pressure began. Restrictions appeared. Believers were watched. Churches faced obstacles. In some periods, Christians experienced severe persecution. Many were forced to worship in secret. Others gathered quietly in homes. Some risked everything simply to pray together. Yet even under pressure, the faith survived. One generation passed it to the next. Parents taught their children. Families preserved traditions. Communities protected one another. And every time Christianity seemed close to disappearing, it somehow found a way to continue. What makes this story even more remarkable is that the challenges did not end after a few years. They continued for centuries. Different rulers tried different methods. Some used laws. Some used force. Some believed they could slowly replace Christian traditions with new beliefs. Others thought fear would be enough to make people abandon their faith. But again and again, they encountered the same problem. People would not let go. Some believers left cities and settled in remote areas. Others practiced quietly. Some adapted to changing circumstances while preserving their core beliefs. And because of that determination, Christianity survived periods that many historians once thought would destroy it forever. The story became even more dramatic when major political changes transformed the region. New leaders arrived. New systems emerged. New religious and cultural forces reshaped society. Many observers expected Christianity to disappear during these transitions. Yet remained, smaller than before at times, less visible at times, but still alive. And perhaps that is the most surprising part of the entire story. Christianity did not survive because conditions were easy. It survived because ordinary people refused to abandon it. People who believed their faith was worth preserving. People who continued teaching their children. People who continued gathering even when it was difficult. People who believed that truth could survive even the most powerful opposition. And as you will soon discover, some of the most important chapters of this story were still yet to come, because the attempts to erase Christianity were far from over. In fact, some of the most intense challenges would happen much later. Challenges that would test believers in ways few could have imagined. But those challenges would also produce one of the greatest examples of religious endurance in history. And what happened next changed everything.